Kvothe found himself pausing at the edge of the bustling courtyard. Towers, arches, and grand halls soared skyward before him, shrouded faintly in morning mist and echoing gently with murmurs of whispered magic. Students clad in long, elegant cloaks hurried between towering buildings, carrying tomes full of arcane secrets. It was here at the university, surrounded by wonder and possibility, that Kvothe felt hope flare to life again. He wandered the campus pathways, eyes wide with amazement, as music danced on the breeze and vibrant ivy rustled softly along ancient walls. Noticing his bewildered state, an amiable young man with tousled dark hair and a roguish smile approached, extending a friendly hand in greeting. "I'm Simon," he said warmly, eyes sparkling with genuine kindness. Simon introduced him to a towering, broad-shouldered, intense-looking student named Wheelam. Together, the trio moved easily toward friendship, laughter punctuating their conversations beneath sun-dappled leaves. Yet tranquility soon gave way to tension. Kvothe, confident and sharp-witted, stood before Master Hemmer's piercing scrutiny during his entrance exams. The lecture hall stirred with murmurs and muffled laughter as Kvothe boldly challenged the master's questions, igniting curiosity and animosity alike. The room held its breath as Kvothe stared unflinchingly back, until at last Master Hemmer smiled faintly, admitting begrudgingly, "Welcome, Kvothe, to the university." Days became a kaleidoscope of lessons and labs as Kvothe immersed himself deeply in his studies. He quickly impressed his professors with sharp intellect and uncanny insight. However, where intellect bloomed swiftly, caution lagged behind. Kvothe soon appeared in the artificery, the grand workshop humming with magic, where he sought to prove himself against more experienced students. During an intense practical demonstration, Kvothe realized too late that he had impatiently reached beyond his experience. Sparks bloomed dangerously, and the metallic talisman before him began to glow red-hot, bursting suddenly into flame. Students gasped in panic and leaped back. Yet a calm voice spoke precisely from behind Kvothe, extinguishing the flames effortlessly with a whispered word of power. Turning around shakily, Kvothe met eyes as pale and penetrating as ice. Master Eladin stood there grinning enigmatically, hand poised, palm outstretched, as the air itself crackled gently around him. The enigmatic professor stepped forth, observing Kvothe's singed robes and flushed shame. His smile widened in amusement and intrigue as he remarked, "Well, young Kvothe, it appears your quest for knowledge may indeed set the university on fire. Come see me tomorrow. I think it's time we talked about naming." Kvothe felt his pulse quicken. Naming. The hidden truth rumored only among the university's most gifted. Had the mysterious Master Eladin truly seen potential within him, or only madness? Kvothe's grasp on his newfound life at the university tightened, each day filled with an enticing blend of wonder and unsaid rivalry. The halls glowed warmly beneath lanterns whose flames danced subtly with traces of magic, infusing everything around with an elusive sense of possibility. Yet, among his peers, a rivalry began to smolder. At the forefront was Ambrose, elegant and sharp-tongued, whose shield of noble privilege seemed impenetrable. Their heated exchanges became whispered legend among students, each confrontation growing more tense, more electric. Kvothe, whose talent flourished like wildfire, surpassed expectations, but felt isolated by his unmatched gifts. Still, he sought guidance from friendly masters, particularly the gentle, clever Eladin, whose words rang cryptically. True magic is found in names. To hold the name is to hold the thing. As Kvothe walked moonlit courtyards deep in thought, a sense of anticipation tingled in his fingertips, hinting at something wondrous, inevitable, perhaps dangerous, about to unfold. Late one serene evening, scents of old pages and melted candle wax lingered in the air as Kvothe studied alone in the sprawling archives. A soft rustling sound caught his ear, startling him from deep contemplation. Investigating further, he found himself suddenly face to face with Ambrose, whose smirk glittered with subtle confidence. Before Kvothe could speak, Ambrose's smooth voice dripped into the silence. "You play at greatness, but you are merely a candle chasing the sun. Soon, the masters will tire of your games." Anger flashed through Kvothe, uncontrolled and hot. As his rage surged, a curious sensation rippled around him. The air shimmered briefly, bending ominously like melting glass, as if responding to an unspoken command. Ambrose stepped back, surprise flickering in his eyes. Kvothe steadied himself just in time, the peculiar sensation vanishing, leaving them both strangely shaken. Ambrose stared in cautious silence, suspicion gleaming, before abruptly disappearing into the dim corridor, leaving Kvothe alone, his mind racing. Had he accidentally touched a deeper form of magic, inspired by hate, powered by emotion? The library fell silent and dark around him, the comforting warmth of candlelight replaced by the uncertain shadows of things unknown. Imre was bathed in the honeyed glow of twilight, the lanterns making shadows dance playfully across old cobbled streets. Kvothe wandered among the stalls, laughter and the hum of conversation drifting around him. It was in a corner of the bustling square that his eyes found Denna again, a gentle apparition clad in flowing blue fabric edged with silver, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders like waves of midnight. Her beauty struck him anew, tightening his chest with a sudden sense of longing he had become too familiar with. "Kvothe," Denna smiled warmly, eyes sparking with familiar mischief, always appearing when least expected. "Only because you vanish just as quickly as you appear," he responded, grinning. They wandered the streets together, their conversation weaving through laughter and half-hidden stories. Eventually, Denna led Kvothe to Aeolian, a renowned tavern filled with poets, musicians, and dreamers. They sat huddled beside the fireplace, drinks untouched, lost in words that spoke volumes beneath their casual disguises. Music filled the air, its gentle melodies surrounding and sheltering their intimacy like a comfortable cloak. It seemed as though tonight, with the stars watching fondly through the skylights above, secrets were just on the verge of confession, but the promise lingered unspoken, hovering tantalizingly between their hesitant smiles. The following morning, Kvothe awoke alone, an enigmatic note resting in Denna's place with words penned hurriedly in elegant handwriting. "Will return soon. Wait for me." He smiled with an affectionate yet uncertain sigh, knowing that Denna was as unknowable and untamable as the wind itself. Days passed, Denna absent as always. But just as restlessness began to gnaw at him, rumors began to surface about strange occurrences at a secluded house on the outskirts of Imre. Whispers of music heard in the empty air, and shadows spotted flickering in abandoned halls. Driven by curiosity and a lurking fear that somehow Denna might be entangled, Kvothe ventured that evening to investigate. As dusk met darkness, the residence materialized from shadows, an imposing structure wrapped in ivy, captured in the silken glow of early moonlight. Approaching silently, Kvothe felt the reassuring weight of his lute strapped across his back. Inside, it felt colder than outside, the air heavy and scented with something unfamiliar. He saw her silhouette first, Denna standing rigidly in the softened gloom of a grand chamber, shoulders tense. Before he could call out, another figure emerged from the shadows, tall and masked, hooded figure obscuring a hidden face. "You're finally here," the masked figure murmured toward Kvothe, voice resonating deeply in mocking recognition. "We've been waiting quite patiently." Denna turned slowly, her gaze darting between him and the hidden face, eyes wide with urgent, unmistakable warning. Beneath a sky alight with hues of twilight, Kvothe and Denna reach Trebon, the once serene village now filled with whispers of turmoil and fear. An uneasy wind brushes past, rustling the leaves as nervous residents hurry into their homes. Recognizing the anxious glances of villagers, Kvothe senses immediacy in unraveling the town's plight. From murmurs and guarded conversations, the reason becomes clear. A monstrous Dracus, driven wild by unknown forces, roams nearby forests, threatening livelihoods and innocent lives. Determined, Kvothe embarks on a desperate hunt for information, guided by fragments of whispered folklore and cryptic clues. Drawing upon his clever wit and latent magical prowess, he tracks the mysterious disturbances into shadow-haunted woods, Denna closely following. Confronted by the immense force of the Dracus, its scales glittering ominously under moonlight, they face a chilling reality. In a critical moment, Kvothe recalls Eladin's puzzling warnings about the perilous balance between knowledge and recklessness. As flames erupt in blinding fury, illuminating the forest in orange and gold, he realizes too late. The danger he is pursuing may be intricately tied to forbidden truths he is yet to grasp. Denna gasps, eyes widening, as Kvothe whispers, "We weren't meant to find this." Above, an ancient, unsettling laughter echoes throughout the shadowed forest, striking dread deeper into their hearts just as darkness closes in, plunging them both into uncertainty.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?